Hey everyone, Voro here with another 3D tutorial. This one is going to be on Harrier Flying. If you don't know what Harrier Flying is, I'll demonstrate it real fast. This is essentially flying just before the stall point, so post-stall. You're keeping that plane in a manner where it's just about to stall, but it's not, and you're flying very, very slow in a high alpha position, a high angle of attack. You can do this upright or inverted, and we're going to talk about both. So I'm just going to land here and show you guys the controls of this. Alright, perfect. So, of course the controls are going to stay the same, so the ailerons are going to be used for your roll. However, in this we are not going to turn with ailerons. We're going to be turning with rudder. Ailerons are just going to be there to stabilize the plane, keep it level. You do not want a wing to fall. You do not want any of that, because since you're already flying in that post-stall manner, a wing getting put too far to the left or too far to the right in a turn, or just flying, it'll easily fall out, and you're going to see this with the smaller 3D planes. So we're going to be using ailerons to keep the plane level, as we want as much air going under the wing as physically possible. That's going to allow for the slowest and the most stable. Next, elevator. We're going to be using the elevator a lot. We're going to be constantly using at least 50%, if not more, of the elevator, depending on how fast you're going and how slow you want to go. But if you want to make it a nice slow Harrier display, we're going to be using at least 50%, sometimes all the way up to full, depending on how much throw you have on your elevator. But typically it's going to be right around 30 degrees for a nice slow Harrier right across. Next, rudder. This is going to be one of the most important things. This is how we're going to be turning and how we're going to be keeping the plane from falling. Surprisingly enough, this is going to be a huge part with the plane falling. A lot of people don't know, but if a plane starts to fall to the right and you add left rudder, it's basically going to act like a knife edge. And you can delay that plane from falling, at least delay it enough so you can level out and throttle out. This is going to work the same inverted and upright. So keep an eye on that rudder. It's going to be a big part of this maneuver. Alright, so we're just going to take off and show you a way to get into this maneuver. The easiest way is going to be coming from one side. I like to do right to left. Pull back on the throttle, and pull back on the elevator as it's slowing down, so it's kind of just floating in the air right now, and then it's going to start to stall on you. There, see, there's the stall. It's stalled out, and we're just going to add throttle, keep it from hitting the ground. So turning, we're going to be using the rudder and countering it with ailerons, just like this. And we're just going to work on ovals for now. Now if your wing looks like this, add that opposite rudder. It'll delay the fall where you can level out and get back in the maneuver. If you're just learning this maneuver, don't save it. Throttle out as always. Safety first. Don't want to lose your plane because you want to save the maneuver. Throttle out and save it. After we get good at ovals, we're going to work on figure eights. So if you're turning with left rudder, we're going to be adding right aileron to stabilize the plane. And if we're turning right with the right rudder, we're going to be adding left aileron to stabilize. A good thing to practice before starting this maneuver is hovering, for one, is going to help you with orientation, and flat turns. Those two are going to help you a lot with this. If you can hover, you should be able to do this, just because the rudder is a big part of your life and you've learned how to use it. Alright, perfect. Now we're going to land. Going to do a nice Harrier landing here. So we're just going to kind of advance the throttle and come down. Cool. Now we're going to take off, and we're going to work on inverted Harrier. This, you're definitely going to want to work on your flat turns, as the orientation is going to be different. So we're going to come in the same way, no throttle, just going to let the plane pitch the nose up, let it stall out. And now that stalled, we're just going to start flying it inverted. Before flying inverted, you definitely want to go up high, practice your flat turns, because since the rudder has such a huge effect on inverted Harrier and such a huge job in this maneuver, you want to get the orientation down. So if you're turning left, we're going to be using right rudder. Now inverted Harrier is actually more stable, and you'll be able to do this slower than upright Harrier. The reason for this is when you're upright, the wings are in such a high alpha position that it's actually blocking airflow going over the vertical stabilizer. As when you're an inverted Harrier, it's completely exposed. So the vertical stabilizer has full range to stabilize the plane. So if you're upright, a lot of it is being blocked. I would definitely practice upright first. It is more difficult, but the orientation is going to be easier to get to. However, when you get proficient at it, inverted Harrier is going to be easier. It's going to be more stable, and honestly it looks better. It looks really cool. When you come in over the runway, inverted Harrier just looks so nice. Nice and slow. It look great. So the same thing here, we're going to be adding opposite aileron. However, this time we're going to be adding the same aileron. So if we're making a left turn using right rudder, we're going to be using right aileron. As you can see, it's going to stabilize it. We're going to put them in the same direction. And if we're turning to the left, we're going to be using left aileron to stabilize it. Once you get proficient at ovals, definitely work on figure eights. When you get good at figure eight, start combining your maneuvers. Go into a rolling Harrier into a inverted Harrier, come in with a torque roll, and it just looks fantastic. Or go into a torque roll, kick the tail back, start an inverted Harrier, and do whatever you want. Maybe do some rolls, catch it inverted. Once you get proficient at this maneuver, you're going to be using it a lot more, just for different displays coming out of flat spins, inverted flat spins mostly, coming out in inverted Harrier looks fantastic. So this maneuver is going to be a huge part of 3D, and it's going to be combined in different maneuvers. So practice it. Perfect. Alright guys, if you guys have any comments, questions about this video or other videos, do not hesitate to ask. I'm always open to suggestions and comments, requests about other videos. I've had requests for some of the tutorial videos, and I'm always happy to see those. So feel free to do them. I'm always open. So till then, this is Voro signing off. Have fun flying.